Savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Score a trip for 4 to Orlando's most magical theme park, including airfare and hotel. Register now to win at SanAntonioSportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Celtics take a 1-0 lead, making a statement with an 18-point win over the Mavericks. Game 2 will be Sunday at 7, which you can catch here on San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 6 with the pregame. According to HoopsWire, an NBA source states that the San Antonio Spurs are very interested in trading for Cavs guard Darius Garland. While in the UFL, San Antonio Brahmas playoffs this weekend, they're taking on the St. Louis Battlehawks.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining that, whether that is at 94.1 on the FM dial, sasportsstar.com, where you can listen via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or the many that join via our YouTube string. That is right. sasportsstar.com on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment along. As Lloyd D already up in here, Fred Records asking if I'm wearing my Celtics shorts. You absolutely know I am, Fred Records, because Celtics take game 1, former team of the Saturday morning hangover. If everybody's wondering how that came to pass and how I'm kind of cheering for the Celtics in a way and wearing Celtics gear. Years ago, when the Spurs were just starting their descent, with DeMar DeRozan still on the team, we were trying to figure out like how to make the playoffs more interesting. Got to have some skin in the game to kind of pay more attention to what's going on in the postseason. We decided that year we were going to cheer for the Celtics. They had an up-and-coming star, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Uniforms were clean, very classic, both the green and the white. Between them and the Phoenix Suns, because the Phoenix Suns had just dropped those Valley uniforms, and those were dope. Fred Villarreal says, I remember the RJ and Pledge green shorts, damn right. So the Celtics take game 1, and it was impressive. They weathered a storm there in the third quarter, in which the Mavs end up cutting what was at one point a 29-point lead down to about 8. It was easily jumped back up to 16 and then some right after that run. There was a timeout. The Celtics go on another run. Kidd calls a timeout, and from there, they just managed to hold the Mavericks at bay. And a lot of it looked like what I thought it may look like. They're going to try and guard Luka one-on-one, and they frustrate him. He had 3 turnovers around midcourt just trying to bring the ball up where either Jaylen Brown or Derek White picked his pocket and then took it to the other end for a runaway, breakaway dunk or layup. At that point, Kyrie Irving started having to bring the ball up because you could tell Luka he couldn't bring it up because the pressure that was put on him to just get it across half court by the Celtics early in the ball game. But the main thing that they did, they didn't help. They didn't leave players wide open coming and help defense. And so it managed to shut down the rest of the team. I said yesterday, I kind of like the Celtics because I think they're deeper. Well, Porzingis and Brown go for 42. 6 players were in double figures, including all 5 starters, while the Mavericks had just 3 in double figures. Luka with 30, and then 12 from PJ Washington and Kyrie Irving. 12 each. I mean, they're going to need contributors from the rest of the lineup to be able to compete in this series, or Luka's going to have to just be completely otherworldly. More likely, Luka and Kyrie will have to find the symmetry where they're probably each going for about 50 to 60 combined. And that will give them a better opportunity. Now, they were cold. They weren't hitting shots. That can change between now and the next game. They've got 3 days off. It's a lot of time to get right. But I think the biggest key to the game was the fact that defensively, they just managed to put the clamps down on everybody not named Luka. And Jaylen Brown, he was a part of that.
I think it's a full team effort. And, Luka Doncic still at 30 and 10, so got to do a better job. But, it's a full team effort. And, tonight I got lucky a few times, but we got to get ready for game 2.
Got to get ready for the game 2, but they do have time. And if the role players for the Mavericks warm up, I expect that to be more of a game. Fabri Real on our YouTube live feed says, you barely see Luka get rattled bringing the ball up. Celtics were the toughest defenders with Holiday, White, and Brown on the court, plus the return of Porzingis. And you're right, the return of Porzingis was huge as he goes off for 20 in his return and had some key defensive stops as well, blocks. It was a great night for Porzingis, and Jason Tatum knows having that guy back in the lineup was a big addition.
I mean, you always want to have your team at full strength. We're a good team, right, when guys are down, but we're really, really special when we have everybody. I think I said it earlier how seamless his transition was after being away for 6-7 weeks and coming into the game and having the first half like that. And that was a big spark for us to start the game.
You got to give the credit to foremost, but at the same time, there were things that Dallas can improve upon. And in the NBA, especially in the NBA playoffs, it comes down to adjustments, both in-game and game-to-game. And I expect Kid and the Mavericks to make some adjustments from game 1 to game 2, especially with 3 days rest in between. Jeff McClanahan says, the Boston Stars are two-way players, and I don't disagree with you. Kyrie, not known as an elite-level defender. Luka Doncic, just not known for his defense in general. Both offensive juggernauts. But the great thing about both Tatum and Brown, their stars are great defenders that can also get it done on the offensive end. And they showed out in game 1. They put the clamps down across the board and made life extremely tough for PJ Washington and Luke Gafford and Derek Lively and They just made all the ancillary role players' jobs that much more difficult, including Kyrie Irving, which, fun stat, Kyrie Irving is 0 for his last 11 against Boston. So he has not had a lot of success against the Celtics, and it has shown in at least game one of this series. And I think their defense has a huge, huge part to deal with it. And Dallas has to find a way to fight through that defense and get their players some clean, open looks. Because I think while there was a lot made of Luka Doncic only having a handful of assists in that game and only one in the second half, I think that was by design. That was by design by the Celtics defense. Luka, go get yours. Go get 30. Nobody else on your team's going to beat us, and they can't beat us one-on-one. And I think that was the biggest thing that the Celtics did that really frustrated the Mavs offensively. Fred Record says, so you think the crowd took Kyrie out of it because the Celtics had great defense? Look, could be column A, could be column B, probably lies somewhere in the middle. But I think the Celtics defense played a bigger role than did the crowd and Kyrie, because I remember Kyrie getting a huge playoff win with the Nets. And you remember it's the game where he flips off the crowd and, kids and all. That was big. He doesn't mind being kind of laying back. He kind of feeds off of it at times. But man, Joshua Machado says he's heading to Port Aransas, listening to Sports Wisdom from my brother James Pledger. I appreciate that, Joshua Machado. Have fun in Port A this weekend, my man. That I need to get out there soon. I've got a trip planned at the end of August. I need to get out there sooner than that, I think. I've got friends down there. It's just a fun time. I always love Port A, and now that summer is here officially for everyone, Paul A says it's the first game, not ready to overreact yet. I'm not overreacting. I've said this consistently about Boston and how I thought they were just the deeper team. I thought the Mavs had the best stars, like their two stars were the best players. I think the Celtics have the better team, which is why I said Celtics in 6 yesterday at the beginning of the series. I still think this is going to be an insanely good series. I think especially when Dallas goes home. I think they've got a chance to get their games at home more than anything because role players perform better at home. It's just they do. For whatever the reason, it is. But I think Boston is the better team that also plays better team defense. And that's going to be the difference in the series to me. But I don't think every game in this series is going to be like game one. Like I said, the games are about adjustments. In game and game to game. And Jason Kidd has 3 days to figure out his adjustments for game 2. Will Coach Mazzulla be able to then counteract what Jason Kidd comes up with? This is Extra. Got 2 different family 4-packs to the Superhero 2024 Comic-Con down at the Freeman Expo Hall coming up on June 20th through the 23rd. Each ticket is good for 1 day, so you could go once each day, or you could take a 4-pack, or there could be 2 different days that you go, depending on who you may want to run into. But they have got a loaded list of celebrities. Chris Pine, Jake Gyllenhaal, Diego Luna, Orlando Bloom, Andy Serkis, Palm Kintelef, who played Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy, Tatiana Maslany, who played She-Hulk, Iman Vellani, who plays Ms. Marvel. You got Stephen Amell and David Ramsey from Arrow in the CW. You've got Jamie Alexander, who played Lady Sif in Thor, and also it was in the show Blind Spot. Ernie Hudson's going to be there. Tom Welling, Dean Cain, Brandon Routh. Scott Ennis, Peter Weller. There's going to be a who's who. Sam Witwer. If you know Star Wars, Sam Witwer is the voice of Darth Maul in the Star Wars stuff. So Sam Witwer, huge voice actor for Star Wars. If you want to go, I'm going to give away my first 4-pack now, my next 4-pack at the end of the show before the Rangers game. Caller number 6 right now, 210-656-ESPN. That is 656-3776. You're going to the Superhero 2024 Comic-Con presented by Thomas J. Henry out at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Halls, June 20th through the 23rd. Caller 6 right now, 210-656-ESPN. That is 656-3776. The Spurs. There are some rumors happening and a bandwagon that I've been pumping for a long time. Choo! We're back on board. I'll let you know what's going on next right here on Extra Innings with Pledge with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
A 62-year-old Florida man was pulled over half an ounce of meth in his pants.
I'm driving from Nashville to Orlando to see if I can look up Goofy County. Goofy looks to me like the kind of man who like to buy a little methamphetamine.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here from my good friends at Connecticut. You know, living in South Texas, growing up in San Antonio, it's been a great place to be because, well, we love the land, we love the people, and boy, do we love our water. That aquifer water, it makes some good sweet tea and some fine beer, but I'll tell you what comes out of the ground we do not want in our glasses, and that's where Connecticut comes in. The finest water treatment system you can get around these parts. Designed and built in the United States, it is made in America for you, San Antonio, for me. I've been a Connecticut customer for years, and now's the chance for you to be one without any risk. Call Connecticut today at 656-PURE. That's 656-PURE. And the good folks Connecticut are going to come out to your home, put one in your house for the next 90 days. So you can find out what the rest of us already know, that we have a water softener designed and made with South San Antonio in mind. Call Connecticut today at 656-PURE. Get a Connecticut in your home for the next 90 days. You're going to be like me, a Connecticut customer. You know what you're going to do? You're going to thank me later.
ConnecticutSA.com.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% on your choice of any 10 or more stock kitchen cabinets and countertops. And there's more. Save on drywall in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet. because we all know our pits aren't the only place we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've ever tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. My patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 five-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free. Give Mando whole body deodorant a try today and smell like the stink-free man you were intended to be.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 1515 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, green tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 1515. Go to shopmando.com, code 1515, for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 1515.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me this evening. Great thing about the San Antonio Spurs this offseason, because we've had a lot of questions and not many answers and not even a whole lot of talk other than mindless speculation. But finally, sources and stuff are starting to come through. And like I said, it's like the 6.5. And everybody said it was easy money last night. Vegas knows. Vegas usually knows what's going on. I have been on this guy for a long time. Back to my Saturday morning hangover days, back when he was still playing with the Chicago Bulls. Hell, I wanted him in the DeMar DeRozan trade. Lauri Markkanen. According to Bovada, the Spurs are the favorites to land Markkanen if Utah decides to trade him this offseason at plus 600. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the next closest at plus 850, followed by the Pistons, Magic, Warriors, and Rockets. I am back on the Lauri Markkanen train because if he is available, I am in. And not only that, because we're getting lots of news from them. You pair him with a veteran point guard of some sort, or even a young and up-and-coming potential all-star, like a Darius Garland, who, according to Sam Amico of HoopsWire, sources say the Spurs have been keeping their interest on a Darius Garland. Now, the odds of both of these things happening, very, very probably slim, but they have the capital to be able to pull off both if they so chose to. And the fact that you could pair Victor Wembanyama with a Darius Garland, because the report is they are, quote, very interested in trading for him, and that they have conducted strong due diligence on Garland as a potential trade candidate. According to NBA insiders Shams Charania, Joe Varden, and others of The Athletic, Rich Paul, his agent, would speak with the Cavaliers about trading Garland if Donovan Mitchell signs an extension with the Cavs this offseason. Can you imagine Wemby playing alongside Darius Garland and Lauri Markkanen? And Abram Lucios asks, would he fit with the Spurs? Do you mean Garland or Markkanen? Because Mark absolutely would fit. He gives you a stretch four. You got Wemby, who can play in to outside. Mark is a capable defender. And by the way, he can get his shot off the dribble and from outside spotting up. And can you roll Wemby and Markkanen? Like the ability to pick and pop, the ability to pick and roll, the ability to get the slower or worse of the bigs trying to defend them, or if they're trying to defend them small, how difficult it would be. I just think about the potential matchup nightmare that you could have with a Victor Wembanyama and Lauri Markkanen front court, and how devastating it could potentially be defensively for a team to match up against that, because of both of their skill sets and their abilities to A, create off the dribble for themselves, and B, also stretch the floor from the outside to where they're bringing the bigs out, which A, when you bring the bigs out like that, it opens the lane for the guards to be able to penetrate, for what if you keep Keldon or trade him, for a Malachi Branham or Blake Wesley or a Trey Jones or Darius Garland if you manage to acquire him as well. Like, it opens up the lanes for slashing. Devin Vassell. Like, they would have the perfect amount of shooting slash penetration with that kind of team. And it really just gets my mind going in a bunch of different directions of the different matchups that you can create, even with the team that they currently have. And then I start to wonder, what would it cost? What would it cost to get a Lauri Markkanen from Utah? What would it cost? Because Utah has kind of they have invested in that position. They have made it very, very crowded at the 4 and what they want to do with that. So I look at, them bringing in Taylor Hendricks and Keontae George, and they've got so many players on that roster for the Utah Jazz that, knowing where they're at potentially in terms of their ability to climb the Western Conference standings with the team as currently constructed. Or if you're Danny Ainge, are you trying to do like you did in Boston and build it up another way? I mean, Jordan Clarkson, Sexton, Taylor Horton Tucker, Keontae George, they've got a gluttony. Chris Dunn, especially guards, my goodness. But John Collins, hey, Luka Samanic is there. Who would have thunk? Walker Kessler, Darius Baisley, like Johnny Juzang. They've brought in some players that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for them to continue to build out if they don't think they're close by trading some of their higher price talent. Because, especially if you're Utah, you can shed salaries. Paul A ends up saying, Darius, I think, could benefit from the change and has a lot of potential. Thinks he could be a good fit with Pop and that they could do good by him. I don't disagree. And it's going to be very interesting. All right, I said, leading out the show, Superhero Comic-Con 2024 presented by Thomas J. Henry at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Halls, June 20th through the 24th. If you want to go, check out some of the coolest Comic-Con stuff and also some great guests, Peter Weller, Orlando Bloom, Chris Pine, Jake Gyllenhaal. Be caller number 5 right now, 210-656-ESPN. That is 210-656-3776. Y'all have a great weekend, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Progressive presents Flo and JB announcing a monster truck rally.
And here comes the Obliterator. Whoa! And he's up on 2 wheels. That can't be safe. Well, I don't recommend